everyone, it's Roisin Anson. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about how I got started with writing and why I got started with writing. I'm going to go through my process and timeline of how and when I got started and all the different stuff that entails. So to begin with, I started writing fan fictions on fanfic.net about Percy Jackson, and I did that in 2014, 2015. I wrote 3 stories and I never completed any of them. Then I went over to Wattpad and discovered Wattpad in 2017, and it wasn't long before I was writing a story for that. I titled it Her Warrior Mate. It was a very, very bad book. It was riddled with plot holes. The pacing was completely off, but this book, the Her Warrior Mate, actually is the basis of Project Wolf #1 in the Project Wolf series. I obviously expanded it and made it a lot better than what it was when I first published it in 2017, published on Wattpad. It's definitely a lot better now that I've edited it and completely redone it, so that it's pretty much nothing the same except for the actual concept of the book, where my character has no magical powers because she's disabled. So that's the concept of the book, but she comes from a magical family. So that's the concept of the book, and I have basically redone that concept in the Project Wolf series, but it's nothing the same as the Wattpad book, but that was where it came from originally. That was in 2017, and then I watched a video on YouTube, and it was the first video I'd ever watched that made me think, oh, I could actually be a writer. That's what I actually want to do. And that was Heart Breathing's How to Get Started as a Writer. I first saw it, the screen has like her with a keyboard, like as a computer, like on a laptop with her typing. That's the thumbnail for it, and I vividly remember watching it, and I remember going to my dad, maybe I could be a writer, and that I remember doing that, and that was based on this video that I'd watched. And that's when I first wanted to be a writer and eventually become a full-time author. Obviously, I had no idea what that entailed when I first thought about it, and it's still something that I want to do, but it's a couple of years or a bit of time away from being that. Even publishing my first book, I'm a bit away from publishing my first book, but hopefully that's a goal that I'll get to by the time I'm 40. That's a goal I hope to hit by the time I'm 40, is being a full-time author, and I'm 25 now, so I've got some time. It was in 2019 that I found NaNoWriMo, and where I first probably started writing and reading craft books, and that's when I first delved into it properly, which was in 2019 when I saw that video. It was in 2020 when I finished Project Wolf #1, and then Project Wolf #1 has gone through a round of self-edit and a round of beta readers. That was in 2022. There's a big gap between those two because there was something that I needed to do. I needed to take some characters out of it, but I wasn't sure if I needed to take some characters out of it, so I was kind of procrastinating doing it. I was also at uni, and it was just too much for me with my chronic illnesses to do my writing and do uni at the same time, so one of them had to get let go, and at the time it was my book. Now it's uni, but yeah. So that was in 2022. It went through after I'd deferred from uni and just stopped uni. I decided to go through a round of self-edits where I took out all of the characters that I needed to, and I took out all the characters that I needed to, and I went through a beta reader section. It was in 2023 where I started Project Wolf #2, and I finished Project Wolf #2 in 2024. Earlier this year I finished it, and I've also started Project Wolf number 3 and hope to finish Project Wolf number 3 and start and finish Project Wolf number 4 by the end of this year as well, but that's not guaranteed to happen, so that's neither here nor there. But that's the timeline of how I got started. So the reason I actually got started with writing is because of my disabilities. I wasn't very well a lot of the time, and I was in my room a lot. I couldn't do much, couldn't do anything, so I started reading, and I absolutely loved reading. I started with Percy Jackson, and then I started reading fan fictions for Percy Jackson. So for about 2 years, all I read was fan fictions because they were free, and at that time I didn't have any money, do you know what I mean, and I didn't want to have to keep on asking my parents to buy me books, so I was just reading on fan fiction, and I absolutely loved it, so I thought I'd write some myself. It got me out of my head and out of what was going on at the time. I got really bad depression and that kind of stuff because I wasn't very well, and it got me out of it, so I will always be thankful. Even if I never become a full-time author and no one ever buys my books, I will always love writing because it got me out of a really dark space, and I just love creating characters and making new stories up and this sort of stuff. I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I remember writing a book for my parents and then going down and showing it to them, and all it was is just speech, and they went, "It's not quite a novel, it's more of a script," is what they said. And I remember thinking, no, they're right. I think the first 2 lines I'd got "he said" after it, and then I never said "he" or "she said" again. It was just dialogue. But yeah, I've always loved to write, so that's just something that I enjoy and want to continue to do. So yeah, that's the end of the video. It's a very short video, which is kind of good because it's probably going to be the shortest video I've ever done, and hopefully I can do some more short videos because it's just easier to edit and upload and all that different stuff. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you liked it. Please comment down below how you got started writing if you're a writer, or how you got started with reading if you're a reader. Also, like the video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.